You ever notice how the air feels different right before something happens? Not louder, not brighter, just different. Like the world's holding its breath, waiting for something to break the pattern. You wake up, same routine, same walls, same thoughts chasing each other in circles, but deep down, something's stirring. You can't see it yet, but your spirit knows it. Tomorrow isn't going to look like today. It's strange, isn't it? How silence can be so loud. You sit there, waiting for something to happen, and nothing does. No sign, no clue, no whisper, just quiet. The kind of quiet that crawls under your skin and starts to feel personal. You start to think you've been forgotten, like the world moved on without you. You replay every mistake, every missed chance, every door that slammed shut, and it all feels like proof that maybe you're not meant to rise. But what if the silence wasn't rejection? What if it was construction? What if, while you were busy thinking nothing was happening, everything was being aligned perfectly, just not where you could see it? People think progress is loud. They think breakthroughs come with trumpets, fireworks, applause. But real change, it's quiet. The seed doesn't make noise when it breaks open underground. The stars don't announce themselves before they light up the night. Everything powerful begins in silence. It's the stillness before the eruption, the inhale before the scream. That's where transformation hides. In the space where you think nothing's moving, but everything actually is. You've been trained to fear quiet moments. The world tells you that silence means stagnation. No noise, no progress. But that's a lie. The silence before a storm is the most powerful moment of all. It's the build-up, the tension, the hidden rearrangement. You can't hear it, but you can feel it. Something underneath the surface, ready to explode into motion. And that's what's happening now. Life's been recalibrating, not punishing you, aligning you, positioning you for something you can't yet comprehend. You see, if everything was revealed too soon, you'd ruin it. If every move was explained, you'd interfere. That's why silence is necessary, to protect what's forming. To let destiny do its work without your panic, your doubt, your impatience getting in the way. You keep wondering why the doors won't open, why people walk away, why everything feels stuck. But sometimes being stuck is just being still. It's heaven's way of saying, hold on, the foundation isn't ready yet. Because what's meant to last can't be rushed. And that's the hard part. Waiting without evidence. Standing still when your instincts scream to move. Smiling when it feels like everything's falling apart. But that's the real test, not of faith, but of trust. Trusting the silence. Trusting the unseen. Knowing that what you can't hear doesn't mean nothing's happening. The alignment is taking shape, piece by piece. Behind the scenes, the people meant to help you are being moved into position. The opportunities you thought were gone are circling back at the exact second they're supposed to. Timing isn't delayed, it's being perfected. It's funny how silence changes people. Some go mad in it. Others grow in it. The difference is perspective. You can look at the quiet and see emptiness, or you can see preparation. The silence isn't here to break you. It's here to build you. It's teaching you to listen differently, not with your ears, but with your spirit. It's teaching you patience that pressure can't destroy. It's removing distractions so you can finally recognize what's real. The silence strips you, not to hurt you, but to reveal you. Because when the noise finally returns, you'll be ready, sharper, stronger, more aligned than ever before. The alignment doesn't happen where you can see it. It happens in the shadows. It happens when no one's watching. When you're doubting. When you're done pretending to be okay. It happens when you finally stop fighting what's leaving and start accepting what's coming. The universe doesn't align around your comfort. It aligns around your calling. And that's why the silence had to come. To clear out what doesn't belong. The noise of your old life was too loud for you to hear your purpose whispering underneath it. Now it's quiet. Now you can finally hear the movement that doesn't make sound. And the best part is, by the time you realize what was happening, it'll already be done. You'll look back and see how everything that didn't make sense suddenly connects like a perfect pattern. Every delay, every no, every disappointment. It was just a piece of the map. You weren't lost. You were being guided. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. The silence wasn't proof of absence. It was evidence of precision. So don't curse the quiet. Don't mistake stillness for stagnation. The silence before the shift is the most sacred space you'll ever stand in. Because that's where destiny holds its breath. That's where heaven rewrites your story without asking your permission. That's where the alignment happens. Not when it's loud, not when it's visible, but when it's silent, deliberate, and divine. You think it's over, but it's actually the calm before your greatest rise. It's strange how people treat delay like a curse, when it's actually protection wearing a disguise. You wait for things to happen, and when they don't, you start to believe something's wrong with you. You think you missed your chance, that maybe you're not chosen, that maybe the promise was a lie. But that's not how timing works. Timing doesn't break promises, it protects them. Because everything that comes too early breaks, and everything that comes too late rots. So life keeps it suspended. Somewhere in between, waiting for the perfect second, where it all clicks together without you forcing it. You see, delay is not denial. It's preparation. But no one tells you that when you're in it. When you're waiting for a door to open that never seems to unlock. When you're praying for answers that stay trapped behind silence. When you're watching everyone else get what you've been begging for. That's when doubt starts whispering in your ear. Maybe it's never coming. Maybe you're not meant for more. Maybe this is it. But that's the trick of delay. It doesn't just test your patience, it tests your perception. It asks you, can you still believe when there's no proof? Can you still move when you can't see the path? Can you still trust the plan when you don't understand it? You keep asking for clarity, But sometimes clarity ruins faith. If you knew every detail, you'd stop walking. If you saw every struggle ahead, you'd never start. That's why life hides the map. It wants to see how far you'll go without directions. Because those who keep moving in uncertainty are the ones who end up discovering what certainty really means. Every delay builds that strength, not the loud kind that shouts, but the quiet kind that endures. Think about it. When things don't happen right away, it's not because the opportunity is gone. It's because the foundation isn't ready. The blessing can't land where instability lives. It would collapse under the weight of something that big. So the delay gives you time. Time to grow the muscle to carry what's coming. Time to clean up the spaces you didn't realize were messy. Time to separate from people who can't handle your next level. The waiting isn't punishment. It's divine training. It's building you for the moment you've been praying for. But humans don't like waiting. They equate movement with progress, so they panic in stillness. They chase what isn't meant for them just to feel busy. They force doors open and then cry when what's inside isn't what they imagined. But here's the truth. Nothing forced lasts. What's forced falls apart because it's not built on timing. It's built on desperation. But when something is truly aligned, you don't have to push. It fits. It flows. It finds you even when you stop searching. Because what's yours can't be stolen. It can only be delayed until you're ready for it. The delay exposes who you are when nothing's working. It shows your true loyalty to your purpose. Anybody can believe when it's easy, but can you believe when everything says no? Can you hold faith when the silence gets heavy? Can you still prepare like it's coming even when there's no sign it will? That's where most people give up. Right before the shift. They walk away seconds before it's about to happen. But those who hold on through the quiet are the ones who see the storm break. And the irony is, by the time the big moment arrives, it won't even feel like a surprise. It'll feel like recognition. Like something deep inside you always knew this day was coming. Because it was never about the wait. It was about the becoming. The delay didn't hold you back. It shaped you into the person capable of holding what's coming. It refined your focus, humbled your ego, built your patience, and removed the illusions. What looked like a standstill was really a sacred pause. The kind that only happens when heaven is rearranging things in your favor. So when life slows down and the answers don't come, don't curse the delay. Look closer. Something's being prepared for you. Or maybe you're the one being prepared for it. Maybe the reason it hasn't happened yet is because it would have broken you too soon. Maybe the reason it's taking so long is because it's going to last so much longer. Timing isn't cruel. It's careful. It's not trying to punish you. It's trying to make sure when it happens, it doesn't just come, it stays. You can't rush something divine. You can't schedule a miracle. You can't demand destiny to show up early just because you're tired of waiting. It doesn't work like that. Every second of delay is doing something. aligning people, moving pieces, opening paths you can't see. And one morning, you'll wake up, and everything will make sense. You'll realize the delay was never a detour. It was the main road all along. It was the invisible path that led you exactly where you were supposed to be. Because destiny doesn't come late. It comes var ready. People think silence means nothing is happening. They think if they can't see movement, there must be no progress. But silence is where the real work begins. It's where life plans your next chapter without your permission. It's where power grows quietly, waiting for the right moment to roar. You see, when everything gets quiet, when no one's calling, when doors stop opening, when the noise fades, that's not emptiness, that's alignment. The world gets silent when something's shifting behind the curtain, something you're not supposed to see yet. People don't understand that growth doesn't make noise. The seed doesn't scream while it breaks open underground. The caterpillar doesn't announce when it starts dissolving in the cocoon. Transformation is quiet, messy, hidden. It happens in secret. Because if you saw it too soon, you'd interrupt it. You'd try to control it. But control is the enemy of creation. You can't rush evolution. You can only survive it. And those silent seasons you hate so much, they're the cocoon. They're where life strips you down, removes the old layers, and builds the new version of you in the dark. But the silence scares people because they think it means abandonment. They think they've been forgotten. They think the universe packed up and left them to rot in the shadows. No, it didn't. It just went quiet so you could hear yourself. Because you've been surrounded by noise for so long, you started mistaking it for meaning. You took validation from voices that didn't even know you. And now that it's quiet, you panic. But that's the trick. The silence isn't empty. It's full of messages, but they whisper. You just never learned how to listen. You see, the most dangerous person in the world isn't the loud one. It's the one who went quiet after the chaos. The one who stopped explaining themselves. The one who doesn't need to prove anything anymore. That silence isn't weakness. It's power under control. It's restraint. It's precision. It's understanding that not every thought deserves to be spoken. Not every fight deserves a response. Not every attack deserves energy. Silence is how you starve distractions. It's how you protect peace when the world's trying to drag you into madness. And when life goes quiet, it's not rejecting you. It's recalibrating you. You were operating on old frequencies, chasing things that no longer match your new vibration. So it had to disconnect you for a while, isolate you, make you uncomfortable. That's what silence does. It removes the noise so you can hear the truth about you, about them, about what really matters. You'll start to notice who never checks in, who disappears when you're not shining, who only shows up when they need something. Silence exposes what noise hides. It cleans your circle, clears your vision, resets your soul. But here's the part most people don't get. Silence is not punishment. It's positioning. When life hides you, It's not burying you, it's planting you. You're underground, yes, but you're growing roots. The deeper the silence, the stronger the foundation. And when you finally rise again, it won't just be to the same level you left. You'll come up sharper, wiser, heavier with purpose. The ones who doubted you will think it happened overnight, but you'll know. It happened in the silence. Every lesson, every heartbreak, every quiet night where you thought you were forgotten, it was all building you for this comeback. And it's funny, isn't it? When people can't read you anymore, they start assuming. They call you cold, distant, detached. No, you're just done performing. You're done explaining yourself to people who only listen to respond. You've learned that silence holds more truth than words ever will. It's not that you don't care. It's that you care too much to waste your energy on noise. Silence is where your peace lives now. It's where your clarity hides. It's where you stop reacting and start observing. Because once you learn how to be calm, when chaos surrounds you, no one can manipulate you again. Silence is dangerous because it makes you unpredictable. People don't know what you're thinking, what you're planning, what's coming next. And that mystery, that unpredictability, that's power. The quiet ones move differently. Not because they're afraid, but because they're strategic. They've learned that the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest. So they wait, they watch, they plan in silence. And when they strike, it's not noise you hear. It's impact. That's what the silent phase does to you. It humbles you, sharpens you, teaches you patience. It removes the desperate energy and replaces it with precision. You stop chasing. You start attracting. You stop begging. You start preparing. You stop screaming for attention. You start demanding respect through presence alone. The silence becomes your armor, your weapon, your peace. So when the world gets quiet, don't panic. Don't run. Don't fill it with meaningless noise just to feel alive. Sit in it. Let it do its work. Because one day, the silence will end. And when it does, you'll walk out of it unrecognizable, unshakable, unstoppable. The same world that forgot you in the quiet will have no choice but to notice the sound of your return. People say they want power, but they don't understand what it costs. Power isn't given, it's taken. And the taking, that's where it gets dark. Because before power ever touches your hands, it first breaks your spirit, burns your comfort, and strips away everything soft about you. It forces you to walk alone, think differently, act against the current. Everyone wants the crown, but no one wants the isolation that comes before it. You think power is about control, but it's about sacrifice. The strong don't rise because they're lucky. They rise because they've lost everything that made them weak. When life starts reshaping you for power, it doesn't announce it. It just starts removing things, people, habits, feelings, illusions. It takes away what you cling to most, so you can't lean on it anymore. You'll fight to hold on, thinking something's wrong, when really, something's being refined. The things that used to comfort you will suddenly feel small, empty. Conversations will bore you. Distractions will disgust you. The noise of the world will start sounding fake. That's not depression. That's elevation. You're not losing yourself. You're shedding your old self. And it's not pretty. It's not poetic. It's brutal. It's lonely. You'll question your worth, your sanity, your direction. You'll wonder why everything that used to work suddenly doesn't. But that's how power tests you. It doesn't ask, "Are you ready?" It watches to see if you'll survive the silence, the misunderstanding, the exile. Power isn't about muscles or money. It's about endurance. It's about keeping your fire alive when no one believes in you anymore. Because once you can stand alone in that kind of storm and still not break, that's when life starts bending for you. You'll notice something strange too. The moment you start stepping into your strength, people around you will get uncomfortable. They'll call you arrogant, distant, changed. That's their fear talking. They're not used to seeing you stand tall after they've built comfort on your submission. The moment you stop playing small, they lose control. And that's the point where most people retreat. Because being misunderstood hurts more than being broken. But the ones who keep going, they become untouchable. You don't need to be liked when you're destined to be respected. But power comes with a warning. If you let ego drive it, it'll destroy you faster than failure ever could. Real power doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. It walks into a room and shifts the temperature. It speaks softly and still commands attention. That's the kind of power built through suffering. Quiet, stable, precise. The loud ones crave validation. The powerful ones crave peace. They don't need to prove they've changed. Their silence proves it for them. They've learned to smile when people lie, to stay calm when chaos erupts, to watch without reacting. That's the art of control, not forcing outcomes, but knowing you can handle any outcome. And don't mistake stillness for surrender. There's a kind of strength that doesn't need to move fast. It just knows when to move right. The weak rush. The powerful wait, because power is timing. It's patience. It's knowing that the right move at the wrong time is still wrong. So you wait quietly, while everyone else burns themselves out chasing shortcuts. You let them underestimate you. You let them laugh. You let them think you're finished. And then, when the noise fades, you act. Precision over panic. That's how you win without fighting. You'll reach a point where people try to pull you back into your old patterns. They'll test your patience, your old triggers, your old wounds. That's how life checks if you've really changed or if you're just pretending. The old you would react, argue, prove, defend. The new you just observes. You've learned that silence exposes truth better than confrontation ever could. You're not here to convince anyone anymore. You're here to build something real, something that lasts beyond opinions. That's power. And the irony is, the moment you stop chasing power is the moment it finds you. Because true power doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to discipline. It doesn't come to those who want control. It comes to those who have mastered themselves. When your emotions no longer control you, when your peace can't be stolen, when your value isn't negotiable, that's when you become powerful. The world feels it before you speak it. They'll sense it in your posture, your energy, your restraint. They won't know why, but they'll treat you differently. Respect follows those who respect themselves, and that's when everything starts shifting. Opportunities come without begging. People start listening when you finally stop talking. Things that used to feel impossible suddenly align. Not because you forced them, but because you became someone they couldn't resist aligning with. Power doesn't chase. It attracts. It doesn't compete. It dominates by default. You're no longer trying to fit in. You've become the one who defines the room. That's the secret people never tell you. Power isn't gained. It's remembered. It was always inside you, buried under fear, doubt, and dependence. Life just had to take enough away to remind you of who you were without it. And when you finally stand there, stripped of everything you once thought made you strong, you'll realize you didn't lose power. You became it. It's funny how people chase the spotlight like it's salvation. They think being seen means being significant, like the world has to applaud before their purpose becomes real. But the truth is, the biggest moves don't make noise. The most powerful transformations happen where no one's watching. That's where life tests you, in the shadows, in the quiet hours when no one cares, when no one's clapping, when no one even knows you're still fighting. That's where destiny is built, brick by brick, through silent victories and invisible scars. You start to realize that the applause you once craved was nothing but distraction. Validation becomes meaningless when you've faced yourself. Because when you're in that dark space, the kind where no one checks on you, where the world keeps moving like you never existed, you begin to see what's real. You stop performing and start becoming. The mask slips, the ego dies, and all that's left is raw truth. The truth of what you want, what you're made of, what you're willing to endure when nobody's watching. And it's not glamorous. It's not motivational. It's messy. It's ugly. It's you screaming into silence, wondering if all this pain is for nothing. You question everything. Your choices, your worth, your purpose. But that's exactly where the foundation gets laid. You can't build strength in comfort. You can't find clarity in noise. You have to break apart to fit into the next version of yourself. That's why the quiet seasons are sacred. They're the workshop of miracles. You don't see the progress while it's happening, but one day, you'll wake up and realize everything changed. When you thought nothing was working. The ones who rise are not the ones who shouted the loudest. They're the ones who endured the longest. They stayed consistent when the crowd disappeared. They believed when results refused to show up. They didn't need proof. They became proof. Because when you keep showing up in silence, without reward, without recognition, the universe starts paying attention. Energy shifts. Momentum builds. Things align in the unseen before they ever appear in the visible. That's why patience is power. It's not waiting. It's working without the need for witnesses. You ever notice how storms don't warn you? They build quietly until they're ready to break. That's how destiny moves. It grows underground, unseen, underestimated. People think nothing's happening because they can't see it. But that's when everything's happening. The roots of a tree grow in the dark before the leaves ever touch the sun. The power of a wave forms in silence before it hits the shore. The same thing's happening with you. You're being shaped for something that doesn't require explanation. Because when it arrives, it'll be undeniable. And those who doubted you will pretend they always believed. That's how it works. They laughed when you were invisible, but they'll study you when you rise. Let them. That's part of the process too. The noise always comes after the silence, after the breakthrough, after the transformation. The ones who used to overlook you will suddenly want to understand you. But they never will, because they didn't see the nights you bled just to believe again. They didn't feel the loneliness that almost swallowed you whole. They didn't watch you rebuild yourself piece by piece. See, big moves don't need an audience, because they were never about proving anyone wrong. They were about proving yourself right. You stopped needing validation the moment you learned to validate your own journey. You realized that every person who left was supposed to. Every delay was divine. Every no was protection. And suddenly, the silence that used to scare you becomes your sanctuary. You don't chase recognition anymore. You attract it by existing in truth. You start moving differently, speaking differently, thinking differently. You stop begging to be seen because you finally see yourself. That's when everything changes. Not because the world became easier, but because you stopped fighting for visibility and started building from authenticity. You start to see that everything you wanted outside of you was always waiting for you to remember what was inside of you. That's when the real shift begins. The quiet one. The one that doesn't trend or sparkle or scream for attention. It's subtle, but it's permanent. Because once you learn how to grow in silence, no one can ever threaten your peace again. People confuse quiet with weakness, but the truth is, it takes strength to stay still when chaos surrounds you. It takes courage to trust timing when everyone else is rushing ahead. It takes faith to keep building when no one's watching. The real winners don't announce their plans, they let results speak. They don't talk about the process. They are the process. That's the difference between those who make noise and those who make history. So while everyone else is performing for attention, you'll be transforming in silence. While they're chasing validation, you'll be preparing for revelation. And when the time finally comes, when your moment arrives, they won't understand how it happened so fast. But you'll know. Because you've been in the shadows long enough to understand that the quiet was never punishment. It was preparation for something loud enough to echo forever.